everybody. Happy New Year. And we're back again with our USN Travel Talks, where we're going to update on all travel restrictions, what's happening around the world, and who's got some new restrictions, who has some, taken away restrictions. And with the new Omicron, I think we are back on the restrictions, and that's why I'm lucky to have today Daniel from Destination Asia in Thailand. As we know, Thailand has been quite popular. Yeah. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year, everybody. As you mentioned, there are some countries that reimpose restrictions, and Thailand, unfortunately, is one of those countries just before Christmas. So basically,
Sorry, I just said we've been traveling as well, and even though restrictions are back, we know that in Europe, you've been traveling to Italy this Christmas as well.
That's right.
I've been in France and Switzerland, and even back to Copenhagen. And of course, as we know, there's restrictions, but I think we just have to maybe get used to our negative PCR tests, and check if you need to fill in some forms, and just maybe get used to the new version of traveling, basically. What do you think?
Yeah, it's exactly right. I mean, those forms and those tests are here to stay. It's just a matter of keeping up with all the regulations when they change, like in this case with Thailand, up until the 21st of December, there was a new scheme called the Test and Go that would allow vaccinated travelers to enter the kingdom, get tested, spend one night in quarantine, even though it wasn't a quarantine as such, and then they were free to travel. Then Omicron happened, and as of the 22nd of December, the Test and Go scheme was suspended, and the government reverted back to the original Phuket sandbox scheme. That means that right now, the Phuket is the only entry point into Thailand. You need to spend 7 nights in Phuket before you're allowed to travel elsewhere in the kingdom, and you need to get tested twice. One PCR test upon arrival, and then one PCR test on day 5 or 6, to be able to travel elsewhere within the kingdom.
Exactly.
So
basically,
backwards.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I was just thinking, just to make this clear, and especially for travel agents who might watch it or watch it later on as well. So we're back again to the first sandbox system, basically. We're kind of reverting ourselves. Second sandbox system. So basically, they need to be sure that all, of course, papers are filled in, and they need to upload the negative PCR test, and they need to prepay and pre-book the PCR test upon arrival and the PCR test on day 5 or 6. That has to be prepaid and pre-booked. So all these has to be pre-done to get the actual papers which is your arrival papers.
Thailand pass, yes. That's along with the accommodation. You need to pre-book the accommodation. That's in Phuket, 7 nights in Phuket, and obviously the travel insurance up to 50,000 baht and $50,000, and it needs to cover COVID. That's right.
Yeah, and also for the accommodation, to be sure for them, because of course Destination Asia is one of those DMCs who's approved. So you have to be an approved DMC by the government to have this COVID accommodation, if I can call it like that, in Phuket.
Yeah, that's right. They're not hard to find because most of the businesses in Thailand right now are SHA Plus certified. Basically, they implemented all the measures. So they are already available. It's not an issue finding SHA Plus certified accommodation. Yeah.
No, but anyway, you need to book this certified accommodation, and of course you have to do it through certified as well DMC. So that's course Destination Asia is in Thailand, and then there is certain hotels. You have a list of these accommodations you can book. So travel agents can just basically ask for the list or book it through you, and you will give them the options. They come with what kind of criteria they have, if it's going to be. Because I presume it's beach, and it's those who want to stay. It's all over Phuket, so it's not just in one area.
No, it's all over Phuket. It's all over Phuket. And that's Oh, no, I was going to say, even though 7 nights in Phuket is kind of restrictive, Phuket is a big island, so there are options to spend your time, plenty of options. And also, even though you're required to stay 7 nights in Phuket, those 7 nights can be split between 2 properties. So you might, take this opportunity to explore more of that island, right? And experience different areas. So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No. So you can basically stay, if you want to do like on the west coast, you can stay like 4 days there, and then you can move on to the other coast, or you wanted to stay south in Phuket, you can do that, or you want to maybe stay close to the airport, or in the area in there as well. So you can divide it into 2 resorts as well.
Right.
So you're not restricted into just stay that. Yeah. And when you got your test upon arrival, and hopefully that is negative, you can move around in Phuket as much as you like.
That is correct. Yeah, that is correct. You can take excursions, you can go out dining, you can enjoy the beach. Basically, you're free, completely free. Just a regular holiday.
So it's basically a Phuket holiday. It's a Phuket holiday.
It's a Phuket holiday. It's a Phuket holiday, yeah. What I normally suggest people is that most people actually do Bangkok first and then they go to the beach. Well, since now there is this restriction, go to the beach first and then, travel up north. It's exactly the same. You just do it the other way around.
Exactly. So when you've done your 7 days in Phuket, you've done your test on day 5 and 6, you're basically free to do whatever you want. You can go up to Chiang Mai, you can do to Bangkok. But can I just ask you, flying out of Thailand, can you fly out of Bangkok, or do you need to go back to Phuket to fly out?
No. You can fly as long as you spend 7 nights in Phuket. Then you're free to fly out of anywhere in Thailand. The only restriction is where, obviously, because you're required to stay 7 nights in Phuket. If you spend 5 nights in Phuket, for example, that's possible. You can do that, but then obviously the flight out must be out of Phuket.
Yes, exactly. So if you're flying out before the 7 days, you need to fly out of Phuket. If you're flying out after the 7 days, if you're flying after the 7 days, you can fly out of Bangkok. So you can do like into Phuket, out of Bangkok, if you're staying more than 7 days.
That is correct,
Exactly.
That's correct.
But the only restriction is you have to fly into Phuket. That's not an open choice. That's the requirement.
That was an option before the 22nd of December, but now it is the only option into Phuket. That's the only, as of now, Phuket is the entry point for everybody visiting Thailand, unless you want to quarantine in a hotel, which our clients obviously don't want.
No, exactly. So I would say that, but that will be not a problem anyway, especially from Scandinavia, because you got Qatar Airways, you got Emirates, you got Turkish Airlines, you got even Thai Air. I'm not sure if Thai Airways actually fly into Phuket from Copenhagen, or if it's just Bangkok. I'll need to double check on that.
I think Thai Airways has a direct flight to Phuket only from London. I might be mistaken, but that was the data available up until before the holidays.
I think we might have some of the other European. We'll need to check with Thai Airways on that. And then, but basically you have that options anyway with most of the airlines income, because it doesn't have to be straight direct, but it can be via another point as long as that last leg is directly to Phuket. So is there anything else? Because I'm just thinking, is there anything else travel agents need to think about?
So the restriction, the Phuket sandbox, 7 nights in Phuket, were imposed on the 22nd of December. Right now, TAT is meeting with all the authorities to see whether they can extend the sandbox programs to other destinations, to include Krabi, Bangkok, Samui, and Chiang Mai. That's still to be advised. So I will let you know as soon as, a decision is made. There is a chance that might keep it for Phuket for the time being. Whatever happens though, Thailand is being very flexible when it comes to cancellation policies. So go ahead with your travel plan, book your Thailand hotel, and keep Thailand as an option, because if worse comes to worse, your money won't be lost. Thai hotels, Thai suppliers, Destination Asia are very, very flexible with the payment and cancellation policy. So keep selling Thailand, I know there's a bit of headache with the paperwork, it's worth it. it's still worth it.
Yes, it's a little bit of paperwork of doing to fill out all the papers and the testing and everything in terms of that. But for travel agents who then are selling Thailand, like you said, there's flexible, cancellation policy, and the payment terms as well. It's probably putting up to not very shortly before the arrival, so you don't have to pay like 3 months before.
No, absolutely no, never 3 months before. Probably the standard, it depends on the hotel, obviously, and depends on what you book. The standard payment right now for the high season, I've said, is 14 nights or maximum 30 nights before arrival. But what happens, a lot of companies are short of cash flow, right? So they require money. But then again, if you happen not to be able to travel, those money are either refunded or kept as a credit for future booking. So you have the guarantee that will never be lost if somebody's unable to travel as a consequence of COVID-related reasons. Money will never be lost. It will never be lost.
No, I think that does also have to be a reassurance, I think, for our travel agencies, because of course, even here, it has been in terms of people are canceling, people are rebooking, and we need to be sure that hotels and DMCs are refunding money when it's needed in a good time as well. But I also know that Destination Asia has been very good in refunding all the money back to all the travel agencies who has had cancellations way back a year and a half ago. So just to be on the safe side, then Daniel, if you're looking at and booking with Destination Asia, of course, they can you have the list of the certified hotels and resorts in different categories, of course. They just need to be sure that they have a negative PCR test 72 hours before arrival.
That's right.
And that they have uploaded it in the system, that they have pre-booked and paid for the 2 PCR tests upon arrival, and day 5 or 6. So you just have to book a time before 5 or 6.
That's right.
Day 5 and 6. And then, you got your resort, and you can choose between 2 resorts if you wanted that within the 7 days. And basically, Phuket is open.
Phuket is open.
You can go and dine. Yeah, exactly.
And I suggest people take advantage of the fantastic prices. Fantastic prices right now.
Exactly. It's good offers at the moment. It's good offers at the moment.
You give up something, but you get something back. So it's not a bad situation after all.
Exactly. And just on the before we ending off, I was just thinking excursions, how it is with excursions. Are all running, or is it some who's running? How is the capacity?
Well, obviously everything is running in limited capacity. Social distancing is very much imposed and followed over here. So it would be a good idea to pre-book. There is a chance, though, that unless the minimum number of passengers is required, some excursions might be cancelled, but then you're going to have our resort rep informing you, giving you options, putting you somewhere else, or refunding the money, basically. So if it comes to it, you'll get a refund if you're unable to provide an alternative. There are some attractions that unfortunately did not survive. Some are not operating just yet. So on the ground, we think the situation is very volatile. But my suggestion is that you go ahead, you pre-book, and if you're unable to operate it, then again, you're entitled to a full refund.
Okay. So basically, and also I think the word we're looking for here is flexibility as well. Because we have to be flexible, because like you said, some might not be open. Some have said they are open, maybe have to close, and capacity as well. So even if you pre-book, to be on the safe side, we can say it's good to pre-book something you really want to do. And worst comes to worst, it might not be running. So we have to be flexible in taking that time. But if you have pre-booked and it's running, you at least have a safe space on that one. In case it's getting fully booked, like you said, it's usually limited capacity with all the social distancing at the moment. So
that is correct.
Where you could have 100 people, you might only be able to have 40 people at the moment, or 50 people.
Which is
So-
even
so I
better,
think that
actually.
is-
Hopefully, in my personal opinion, I hope that is a situation that is gonna stay, because I really don't want to travel to people with 100 people. So hopefully that restriction
Exactly.
is gonna stay. It's gonna make things so much better,
Yeah.
right? In terms of experiences.
I totally agree. I prefer to have that social distancing in place, because it's so nice when you don't have people just all over you all the time,
Exactly.
and you can have some space and distance and everything. So there is few things who's very good with this as
Yeah.
well. We have to look at the positive sides.
Silver lining.
But
There is a silver
thanks,
lining.
Exactly, this is silver lining. But once you have an update on maybe this sandbox is going to be extended, you let us know, and then
I'll
we
let you
just
know
do a
regardless,
short
yeah.
update on that as well. Brilliant.
Great.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you for
You're
joining
welcome.
us for the
You're
first
welcome.
travel talk. And enjoy your evening.
Thank you, and again, Happy New Year, yeah?